So in Genesis chapter 25, we are going to see how Esau is going to lose his blessing because of despising it. You all know that Esau was the firstborn to Isaac. Even though he was a firstborn child, even though he has inherited the birthright, he is going to lose it. So this is going to be a warning signal to us. So today we are going to see about the life of Esau who despised his birthright. For that, I have given the topic name is nothing but I'll just share it, then it will be useful for you. I'll share it in the screen. Can you see it here? So, how do blessing lost? So, today's message is about how do blessing lost when it is despised? Genesis chapter 25. How do blessings lost when it is despised? When you despise it, you are going to surely is going to lose that blessing. That we are going to see in Genesis chapter 25. Let us go to that chapter and move on what we are going to teach today. So here in this chapter, the memory verse for that, the main key verse for that chapter is nothing but the Genesis chapter 25, Genesis chapter 25, 33 and 34. Genesis chapter 25, 33 and 34. That is there in the book there, which is a keyword for today's message. Genesis chapter 25, 33 and 34. Please, children, open the Bible and keep it with you, those chapters. Okay. 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 Jacob said, "Swear to me first." So Esau swore on oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil stew. He ate and drank and then got up and left him. So Esau despised his birthright. So in this chapter, it is verses, it is very clear. Esau is despising his birthright. And there are two names of the persons here. One is the name of Esau, another is the name is Jacob. Those two are brothers. And we are going to see they are the twin brothers to Isaac and Rebecca couple. And what actually happening there? Why the elder brother, that's the firstborn son Esau, is ready to sell his birthright? What happened to him? Why he is taking this drastic decision? And what consequences he is going to face because of taking this drastic decision? And why Jacob was very cautious about this birthright? What actually he wants there? And what are the importance of birthright? And how the Abrahamic covenant is mainly depends upon this birthright. Everything we are going to see today. So as you know that. First of all, what was Esau's birthright? That is very, very important because in those days, birthright entitles four blessings. Always, if you see in Old Testament, not now, in Old Testament time, the birthright entitles four blessings. The first blessing is a double portion of the inheritance. If the family has, as you know that the father has some land, sheep, camel, goat, and maid servant, all these people are there with the father. If he's going to die, all this portion, the double the portion of the belongings of a father is going to go to the eldest son. That is called the birthright. The second blessing of the birthright is family leadership. Once father died, the person who is going to lead the family is the first son. That is also the blessing of the birthright. Third one is a covenant blessing. If God has made any covenant with that family, that covenant blessing is going to go to that first son after the father. And fourth one is a land blessing. If God has given any physical outwardly blessing, God has promised that promise is going to go to that elder son. So here in the case of Esau, there is a double portion of inheritance, family leadership. So the first one became the spiritual and the social leader of the family. There is a covenant blessing. Esau's birthright include the covenant promise God gave to Abraham, and not only the land promise. God has promised land to Abraham. That land is going to be inherited. Is going to be inherited by Esau as far as birthright. But since he's going to despise it, he's going to lose all these four blessings. In future, he's going to cry unto that for it. But he didn't repent it fully hearted, so he didn't receive it back. That's the lesson we are going to see today. As you all know that Genesis chapter has 50 chapters. So far we have finished until Genesis chapter 24. Until that we have learned more thing about the general dealing of God with mankind, and especially with Abraham. Now today we are going to see the end of Abraham's life, and the starting of the Isaac's blessing, that we are going to see from Isaac's the Genesis chapter 25. So here we are, so far we have seen the life of Abraham. He journeyed from Ur. There was some fall and success in his life. Then he met Melchizedek, who is a type of Jesus Christ. Then Lord made covenant with Abraham. Then there is a birth of Ishmael with Hagar. Then there is a birth of Isaac with Sarah. Then God is going to be testing Abraham at last, and he was successful in the testing. And then Sarah died and in the promised land, and she was buried in Machpelah. And then Isaac got married to Rebekah. So far, we have finished all these things. Today, we are going to see how do blessing last when it is despised. So the chapter 25 has 34 verses. We are going to divide this chapter into three groups. First one is the death of Abraham. That is there from until verse 19. Then the birth of Esau and Jacob. Here the Abraham is going to die after the marriage of Isaac with Rebekah. And then there's going to be death of Abraham. We are going to see at what age Abraham died. And Abraham saw the children of Isaac and Rebekah. That and all we are going to see in the coming slide. So the first is the death of Abraham, then the birth of Esau and Jacob. That is there from 20 to 26 verse. And Esau despised his birthright. That is from 27 to 34. So keep it in mind, I'm going to divide this entire chapter into three parts. The death of Abraham, after the death, and moreover the birth of Esau and Jacob. Don't think that after the death of Abraham there is going to be birth of Esau and Jacob. Still Abraham was living. There was a birth of Esau and Jacob to Isaac and Rebekah couple. So Abraham saw saw his grandchildren, and he lived with the grandchildren for about 16 to 17 years. That and all how it is, I'm going to show you in the coming slide. And then we saw with the great fullness, with great happiness, he fulfilled all the plan in the life, and then only he died. That's we are going to see. And then the birth of Esau and Jacob, that's the happiest moment. Even though that was happiest moment, the first son Esau despised his birthright, so it is going towards the second son Jacob. That's what lesson we are going to see. First is the death of Abraham. What happened? The death of Abraham after Sarah's death. Abraham married another woman, Keturah. Can you see here? Sarah died at the age of 120, and Abraham was at the time 130 years old, but now Abraham, that is after Sarah's death, Abraham again married another wife. That wife name was Keturah, who bore him 6 sons. For about 35 years, Abraham lived with Keturah, and this couple gave birth 6 sons. Abraham gave gift to sons of Keturah and sent them to Egypt. Abraham, after he gave birth 6 sons, when they became somewhat elderly people, like 20, like this age, then he sent them away from the place where Isaac was staying and sent them away to the east, which implies that Abraham's covenant blessing is going to only to Isaac, not to any other concubine children. Abraham died at the age of 175. Isaac and Ishmael reunited. Now we know that Isaac and Ishmael were set apart. Isaac was living near Egypt, and he married an Egyptian woman, and he gave birth to 12 sons. And it is going on like that. But once Abraham died, this information was given to Ishmael. The Ishmael came and reunited with Isaac, and both of them together buried their father Abraham in the cave of Machpelah, where Abraham buried his wife Sarah, because that Machpelah is going to be the family burial ground. After this, Isaac is also going to be buried there. Rebekah is going to be buried there. Jacob is going to be buried there. All these things are going to happen in coming future, because that Machpelah is cave in Machpelah is nothing but the family burial ground of Abraham and his descendant. So this is about the death of Abraham. We know only Abraham and Sarah gave birth to Isaac, but another important information is that Abraham and Hagar gave birth to Ishmael. That also we know. But now we are coming to know from chapter 25 that Abraham married another woman called Keturah after Sarah died, and both of them lived for more than 60 years and gave birth 6 sons. And the 6 sons he sent away towards east by giving them gift. At the age of 175 he died, and both the sons, that is Isaac and Ishmael, came together, reunited, and buried his father, their father Abraham, in the cave of Machpelah, which is Abraham's burial ground, descendants' burial ground. Then what happened? When once Abraham died, what happened? God did. Abraham covenant has now been transferred to Isaac. How come you know that Abraham covenant has now only transferred to Isaac, not to Ishmael? That's what very clearly revealed in Genesis chapter 25, verse 11. 25, verse 11 says, after Abraham's death, God blessed his son Isaac, who then lived near Berlai Rohi. Where Isaac is living, as we all know that in previous chapter, previous class I taught you, when Rebecca came from Haram, Rebecca met Isaac in Berlai Rohi. There only he was living in Berlai Rohi. What is that? The tent of his mother was there. Only in that tent Isaac was living. And when he saw Rebecca, he was very happy. He got married Rebecca and get consoled because of the sadness of his mother's death. That and all we saw in Genesis chapter 24. Here in 25, can we see here now still after even him Isaac buried his father Abraham, he still started to live in Berlai Rohi. He didn't go to Beersheba. He's still living in Berlai Rohi with his wife Rebecca. At that time, after Abraham died, after Abraham was buried, God blessed his son Isaac, who lived near Berlai Rohi. Isaac remained the chosen successor of the covenant, fulfilling God's plan. Already, before Isaac was going to born to Abraham and Sarah, God himself came to Abraham and gave the promise to him. That promise is nothing but it's given in Genesis chapter 70, 20 and 21. That is that, and as far as Ishmael, I have heard you. I will surely bless him. I will make him fruitful, and he will greatly increase his numbers. As God promised, Ishmael has gave birth 12 sons. He will be the father of 12 rulers, and I will make him into a great nation. So that Ishmael's promise was also fulfilled, but not Ishmael is a covenant bearing son. But my covenant I will establish with Isaac, whom Sarah will bear to you by this time next year. So the next year, when Abraham was 100 years, when Sarah was 90 years old, Isaac born to this couple, and they gave him the name Isaac as it was promised, as it was revealed by God to Abraham. So only Ishmael is going to the worldly blessing, but Isaac is going to inherit the covenant blessing that was already promised to Isaac even before he was born to the couple of Abraham and Sarah. So that is now fulfilled here. Can you see here? Our God is a faithful God. Even though the parents of Ishmael has died, first mother died, then father died. No, now he seemed to be very sad. What going to happen next? At that time, God appeared to Isaac when he was staying in Berlai Rohim, and God blessed his son Isaac. That means his covenant blessing, Abrahamic covenant blessing, is now going towards him Isaac, not towards Ishmael, because it is already promised in Genesis chapter 17, verse 21. Because my covenant I will establish with Isaac, not with Ishmael, but Ishmael is going to be fruitful, is going to increase in number, is going to give birth 12 rulers. Everything as promised, it is fulfilled. Now, what is the connection of Isaac and Berlai Rohim? Can you see here? Isaac always want to live in Berlai Rohim, because you all know that what is the meaning of Berlai Rohi? Berlai Rohi means well of living one who sees me. So always Isaac is a man of prayer. He always spend time in meditation. So Isaac very clearly knows there is a place called Berlai Rohi where God came to face and talked with Hagar and fulfill the promise to Hagar. So Isaac want to live in the place where God saw and see the cries of the Hagar. That place is called Berlai Rogi, and the meaning of this well of living one who sees me. And now it is a place of meditation and prayer. After Isaac's mother Sarah died, he stayed in Berlai Rogi and spent time in meditation prayer because he was very sorrowful of the death of his mother. And now it is a place of God's presence and favor. And now what happened? After his father died, it became a place of God's presence and favor. And Abraham death, God blessed his son Isaac, who then lived near Berlai Rohi. So this is a connection of Isaac with Berlai Rohi. And now the next portion is that so far we learned in this portion, we learned the death of Abraham is over until chapter verse 19. The next part is the birth of Esau and Jacob. That is there in verse 20 to 26. Genesis chapter 25, 20 to 26, we are going to see the birth of Esau and Jacob. So here, this I'm going to split it into three parts again. Also, it has 6 verse 20 to 26. There we are going to see the Lord's answer, the Lord's election, and the naming of twins. Three things we are going to see here. In the birth of Esau and Jacob, we are going to see three things. First one is the Lord's answer, because why God Lord answered, who prayed and all, what is the problem that we are going to see, and there is going to be election, who God is going to elect, either Esau or Jacob, that we are going to see, and they are going to give the name to the children according to what condition they are giving the name, that we are going to see today in this portion. So let us first of all the Lord's answer. It is there in Genesis chapter 25, 20 and 21. Isaac was 40 years old now. Now what happened now? Now we are going to Isaac. I'm the Abraham. After Abraham was dead, God came and blessed Isaac, and now you all know that Isaac and Rebecca are couples. Now Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebecca. So what is the age of Isaac when he married Rebecca? 40 years old. So after his death of 3 years after the death of his mother Sarah, Isaac married Rebecca. At the time Isaac married Rebecca, his age was 40 years old. Again, we are giving to you one new information. Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was childless. Because now the 20 years are passed. Okay, now 20 years have passed. At the 40 years, they got married. Now 20 years have passed. That is, now Isaac's age was 40, not 40, it is 60. So 20 years have passed. They have no children. So Isaac was so worried, and Rebecca was also worrying. But Isaac, a man of prayer, prayed to Lord on behalf of his wife, because she was childless. Rebecca didn't pray here, but only she is worrying. It didn't written that she is worrying, but Isaac is going to pray on behalf of wife, which implies that Rebecca is worrying. So Isaac prayed to the Lord on behalf of his wife because she was childless. The Lord answered his prayer. Can you see here? Immediately Lord is answering his prayer, and his wife Rebecca became pregnant. So now it is happening. The Lord's prayer is answered. What was the Lord's prayer? That is, they were 40 years old. They got married. Now 20 years are passed. Rebecca is childless. So Isaac prayed. God answered Isaac's prayer, and Rebecca became pregnant. So Isaac was 40 years old when they took Rebecca as his wife. Rebecca was barren for 20 years. Isaac prayed for children, was answered. His wife Rebecca conceived. So Lord's, the prayer of the Rebecca, Isaac was here. Now the Lord's election. God is going to do some election here that we are going to see. Genesis 25, 22 and 23. I will read 22 and 23. The babies jostled each other within her. Now what is that? She's pregnant, but she's afraid to see. She was astonished to recognize that the babies. She thought that not only one baby, the two babies are fighting and struggling each other within her, and she said, "What is this happening to me?" She was very happy when she got conceived. Now she is very sad. What is going to happen to me? What is going to happen to these children? Well, if I'm going to be alive, if the children are going to be alive, what is going to happen? She was worrying now. So she went to inquire of the Lord. She's now only she went. First of all, Isaac prayed for Rebecca. Now Rebecca is facing so many problems and consequences. The babies are struggling. So he went and inquired to the Lord. The Lord said to Rebecca, now Lord is talking to Rebecca. He's saying, two nations are in your womb. So God is giving the revelation about the children in her womb. God gave 4 revelations. What are the 4 revelations? 2 nations are in your womb. First revelation. Second revelation, 2 people from within you will be separated. Second revelation. Third revelation, 1 people will be stronger than other. Third revelation. And fourth revelation, the older one will serve the younger. Now I'll explain this revelation because it is very, very important. This fulfill in the entire life of Jacob and Esau. It is a very important revelation which is given to Rebecca. The 4 revelation, the revelation to Rebecca has 4 parts. First part is Rebecca sought to be a mother of child, so she became the mother of 2 nations. Now she only sought only 1 child, but now God has given her the mother of 2 nations because our God is a gracious God. Whatever we pray, He is exceedingly able to answer our prayer. The next part is 2 children would be divided in conflict. There is not going to be togetherness. These children are inside itself now fighting. There is going to be the conflict forever. forever. That's going to be the conflict. The third part, one will be the stronger than the other. The one will be the stronger. Who is be stronger, elder or younger? Don't know. The third part is one would be stronger than other. So there are two nations. One nation is weak, one nation is strong. Fourth part of the revelation is the elder one would serve the younger. That means what? The elder nation, the people who is going to form, the elder son who is the nation, the elder son who is going to form is going to the weaker nation. The nation what the younger son is going to form is a stronger nation. But there is going to the division and conflict forever, and one is stronger, one is weaker, and the younger is going to serve the elder. The elder would serve the younger. But the names are not given here. Just like that, God has revealed a fourth part in his revelation. Now, how do God choose? Now, God is going to choose either one of the son, elder or younger. Already it is revealed. The younger God has chosen, because the elder would serve the younger. The God's choice is younger. Even in the womb, even though they are not there, before they are going to born in this world, before doing any action in their life, before becoming big children, God already chose the younger one and than the elder one. So how do God choose? That is very, very important in my life. How do God choose? How can God do like this? How can God just choose one child and just leave other child? Is it correct? So many questions are coming to us. So today we are going to see now in this slide, how do God choose? For that, I'm going to take Romans chapter 9, 10 and 12, because God's choice was made before birth. That is revealed in Romans chapter 9, 10 to 12. Paul wrote and gave the example of Esau and Jacob when describing about how do God choose the people. Because in Genesis, Romans chapter 9, 10 to 12 says, Rebecca became pregnant by our ancestor Isaac. It is there in Romans chapter 9. Before the children had been born had done anything good or bad, Rebecca was told that the older child would save the younger one. This was said to Rebecca so that God's plan would remain a matter of his choice, because God's plan would remain a matter of his choice. So according to the God's plan, God is choosing a choice based on God's call and not on anything people do. So what do infer from this? What is election? So next point is how God can do this. So there is God is choosing, that we call it as a election. So what is God's election? What is election? Paul uses the story of Rebekah, twin Jacob and Esau in Romans 9, 10 to 12 to illustrate God's independent choice. God is a God. He can choose anybody. He cannot ask Rebecca or even Isaac, oh, Rebecca, can I choose the elder one? Are you agreeing with my choice? No, God has no need to ask, because he's an independent God. He's a sovereign God. He can take any action according to his plan. Election means that God chooses people for his plan according to his wisdom, because God's wisdom is tremendous. We can't even think about how God is wise. God knows already what is going to happen in one person's life, what that person is going to choose in his life, whether he's going to choose the right thing or bad thing, good thing or bad, right or wrong. God already know everything. Already he's a sovereign God. He's an omniscient God. He's an omnipotent God. He's all-powerful God. He knows everything what is going to happen in person's life. So God choose people for his plan according to his wisdom, not to men's wisdom. God has an absolute right to choose whom he will use for his purpose. For his purpose, he is going to use certain people. He is going to choose certain people. Nobody has any right to ask, why God you are doing this. In ancient culture, the firstborn Yusuf normally receives the great inheritance and leadership, but God reversed the order. Before they are going to born, God reversed the order. Afterward, one day Esau has despised the birthright. Before itself, God already know that Esau is going to despise his birthright. So already God knows. So according to his purpose, according to his plan, God chose the younger son. God's choice was based on his purpose, not on human tradition and expectation. What the parents think, oh, elder son is going to be the family leader. Elder son is going to inherit the Abrahamic covenant. Elder son is going to be the family responsible person. It is all human expectation, but God's expectation is not our human expectation. It is totally according to his purpose and his plan and his choice. And just as Jacob was chosen before birth, we believe we are saved by God's grace, but not our effort. You and me accept Jesus Christ. We did anything for that? No. God, before we are going to born in this world, God has chosen you and me so that we accept Jesus as a savior, attain the eternal life. Such a great thing we have known today from this. We are very happy because God has chosen you and me. Such a great privilege you and me have. No, God bless you, my children. Now, next is a naming of twin. We are going to name. So that I'm going to teach you from Genesis chapter 25, 24 to 26. When the time came for her, for the Rebecca to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. Already God told Rebecca. I think Rebecca didn't tell anybody. That's what it is revealing. When she was giving birth, the midwife was there. The midwife came to know there were twin boys now only. Understand? So Rebecca didn't reveal the revelation to anybody. She kept everything in her mind. So when the time came for her to give birth, there were twin boys in her womb. The first to come out was red. The first child came out of her womb. That child was red with the whole body like a hairy garment. The whole body. The child is not like a human child. The child is like a baby of an animal, like a calf of an animal, like a goat. Okay, this look like an animal baby, not like a human baby. Full body is red with full of hairy red. The hair is full of red. The body is full of red hairs. The body is fully covered with the red hair. And so they named Esau. Esau means what? Hairy. Hairy, reddish hair. So they call hairy, reddish hair, hairy. So they named Harry, Esau. After this, his brother came out. Now brother is coming out with his hand grabbing Esau's heel. Now when they're taking the Esau out, another boy is coming by himself. That boy is holding the Esau's leg. Oh, is coming out. When Esau was pulled out, this boy is also coming out because this boy, the second boy, is holding the Esau's heel. So he was named Jacob. So this second boy was named Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when Rebecca gave birth to them. So now let us see what is the meaning of the name. So first is Esau. Esau means what? Hairy. Named according to the appearance. So Esau was hairy. They named him according to the appearance. Esau, which means hairy or hairiness. He was born hairy with reddish hair. So they named him Esau according to the appearance. The next child name is Jacob, which means heel. They named according to the action. What was the action of the boy? The action of the child boy is grabbing the heel of his brother heel. So his action is grabbing the heel. So they called him Jacob. In Hebrew, we called it as a Yaakov, because that's why in Tamil Bible we call it as a Yakobu. Yakobu means Yaakov in Hebrew, which means what? Heel. Okay, heel, because the Old Testament is written in Hebrew language. The Hebrew language, the name of Jacob is Yaakov. That's why it is translated in Tamil Bible as a Yakobu. Okay. After this, his brother came out with his hand grabbing Esau's heel. So his name called Jacob, in Hebrew Jacob. The primary meaning of the name is heel, the one who takes by the heel. What is the heel means? What is Jacob means? What is Yaakov means? The one who takes by the heel. Okay. The secondary meaning is also there. What is the secondary meaning of the Jacob? The secondary meaning of the Jacob is supplanter. Supplanter means deceiver, the one who takes the place of another. This is deceiving, no? So they call it as a supplanter or a deceiver, which means the one who takes the place of the another. Because in future, Jacob is going to take the Esau's birthright and Esau's blessing. Both the things he is going to take. One thing, he is going to take the Esau's birthright. By Esau himself is going to give that birthright to Jacob. And in the case of Esau's blessing, Jacob, along with his mother Rebecca, deceive Isaac and get the blessing from the elder son, blessing from Isaac, because Isaac at that time he became very old. His eyes were blind. His eyes were not very sharp to identify whether it is Isaac or Jacob. So in that way, in future, Jacob is going to supplanter, is going to deceive, he is going to take all the Esau's birthright and all Esau's blessing. So today we learn what is the meaning of the two names. Esau means hairy, Jacob means heel. The heel has two primary, the Jacob name has two primary meaning. The first meaning is heel. The secondary meaning is supplanter or a deceiver, the one who takes the place of another. Now, next is what? We are going to third part of our teaching, which is Esau despised the. So far, I finished the death of Abraham until the verse 19. Next, we have finished the birth of Esau and Jacob, and the meaning of the name also we learned. That is 20 to 26 verse. The third part is Esau despised his birthright. That is very important. 27 to 34 verses. Genesis chapter 25, 27 to 34 verses. So Esau despised his birthright. Let us see that how what is going to happen, how he despised it. So it has this portion I'm going to divide it into three parts. What are the three parts? Different nature of twin brother. Even though they are twin brothers, the nature is going to be totally different. So first I'm going to see the different nature of the twin brothers. Next is the Esau's hunger and Jacob food. So now the how Jesus, how Esau despised his birthright is, Esau is going to be very hungry. At that time, Jacob was cooking. So next portion is what? Esau's hunger and Jacob food. The third portion is Esau's disregard for the birthright, because Esau was very hungry. He is ready to eat the Jacob food, and he disregarded his birthright and sold that birthright to his younger brother Jacob. So the three portions we are going to see now in this part. Okay, first of all, the different nature of twin brothers. That is there in Genesis chapter 25, 27 and 28. I will read Genesis chapter 25, 27 and 28. You also see your Bible, and it is also displaying here. The boys, who are the boys? What are the names of the boy? The names of the boy is Esau, which means Harry, Jacob, which means heel. These two boys grew up. We know the names of the boy, the age of the boy is not given. Maybe 12, maybe 17, maybe like this. The boys, in Bible you can see sometimes the expression boys is given. Sometimes it represents 12 years, sometimes it represents 17 years, but it may be 17, teen only, not elderly people. They are teen people, so they are called as the boys. The boys grew up, and Yeshua became a skillful hunter, a man of the open country, while Jacob was content to stay at home among the tents. So there is a great difference. The occupation both of them are selected is totally different. Okay, entirely different. Isaac, who had a taste for wild game, loved Esau. Now there is also great distinction is Isaac, the father, loved elder son Esau, because this man is go and hunt and prepare good food for Isaac. Isaac loved to eat tasty food prepared by Esau. So the Isaac prefer and favorite and love more Esau, but Rebecca loved Jacob. Why Rebecca loved Jacob? Because you can see the intelligence of Jacob. That's why Rebecca loved Jacob. We are going to see how it is going to happen now. Let us see the difference. Okay, what is the difference between difference nature of a twin brother? What are the difference? There are five differences there. Between the Esau and Jacob, there are five differences. First one is a nature. What's the nature? He is impulsive and independent. He's getting angry. He's getting frustrated. He's showing his feelings so much. If something happened, he's exaggerated. So he's very impulsive. He's proactive, and he's independent. Why is independent? He is not staying in the home, in the tent. He want to go out. He want to be in the open country. He want to be a skillful hunter. He always try to be away from the family tent, away from the family responsibility, away from the family covenant. Always he want to be out, always freedom, always roam around so many places. He don't want to stay in the tent. So he's independent. But Jacob is thoughtful. Always he think before anything, before he talk. If I talk like this, what happened? If I do like this, what happened? So he's very thoughtful, and moreover, he's very patient. He's not impulsive. He's very patient. This is about the nature of two boys. Even though they are twins, the nature is totally different. What are the appearance? You all know. Esau was red and hairy, and he looked like an animal baby. But the Jacob was smooth skinned. He was smooth skinned, looked like a human baby. And what is about the lifestyle? They have chose what occupation the lifestyle is. Esau was a skillful hunter. He's an outdoor man, always going out. Okay, he's a skillful hunter. But what about Jacob? A quiet man, a perfect man, staying among the tents. That means he is doing the family business. He is doing his family's occupation. He is a responsible, family oriented man. He is ready to take the family covenant. He is very patient. He is thoughtful. He is think over everything before he do anything. He is not impulsive. He is not outward going and not staying in the tent. Everything totally opposite. And Jacob is a shepherd. Jacob is a shepherd, and but Esau is a skillful hunter. Okay, this is what is happening about lifestyle. What about personality? Personality lived for a moment. Esau always lived for him. I want to live it today. Tomorrow, I don't care. Lived for a moment, driven by desire. If something he desired, he want to have it. He never control. He don't have any self-control. He go according to his lust desire. He never control his desire. So he's driven by his lust, driven by his desire. His actions are driven by his desire. But what about Jacob? He's forward thinking. Okay, seek future advantage. See, if I do this, what is my advantage in the future? How I'm going to be blessed? What blessing I will get it? So he's forward thinking. He stay in the tent. He think forward. How many years? Future thinking, and seek for future advantages. Seek for future advantages, not the present. Now I want the food. Now I want to eat. Now I want this dress. Not like this. Seek future advantages. What is the relationship with the parents about these two, Esau and Isaac? Favored by Esau was favored by Isaac because Esau liked his wild nature. Esau, no. Sorry, Isaac liked him. Esau's wild nature because Isaac is a pious man. You can see from the Isaac life, he never fight with the people. He always pray and meditate. Okay, he always stay in the mother's tent. He's a soft man. He's a pious person. He never go out and wild and hunt. All this, he always stay in the home and eat the mother cooking food. So that was the nature of the Isaac. Now he saw his first son. He's a wild man. He's going out. He's freedom. He's independent. What all Esau is doing is totally opposite of Isaac character. So Isaac started to love Esau because he liked his wild nature. Who? Isaac, the father of Esau, liked Esau's wild nature. But what about Jacob? Jacob was favored by Rebekah because Rebekah liked his intelligence. We all know that Rebecca was so intelligent. When God chose in Rebecca, once his Abraham's servant came to Haram to choose which girl is going to be chosen for Isaac, Rebecca gave water to that servant. Not only that, she herself gave pick up the water from the well and provide the water for 10 camels. She was so intelligent. So this way, she think about what's going to happen in future. So she's very intelligent girl. So since her second son Jacob was very intelligent, Rebecca started to little bit favor about his Jacob. This is about the nature. Now what we are going to learn? Esau hunger and Jacob food. Now this is going on. Now one day Esau was going to be very hungry. At that time Jacob was making food, and there we are going to see what was Esau's birthright, what were Esau's mistakes, and what lesson we learn from Esau's mistake. I'm going to finish the study here. Esau's hunger and Jacob food. What was Esau's birthright? What were Esau's mistakes? And what lesson we learn from Esau's mistake? Let us go there. Esau's hunger and Jacob food. Once when, that is there, Genesis chapter 25, 29 to 32. I will read it. Once when Jacob was cooking some stew. So stew is also a stable food in those days. Esau stew means soup. We eat soup, chicken soup, mutton soup, vegetable soup. That they called as a stew. Esau came in from the open country. See, he's coming from the wilderness, from the out of the tent, from after hunting. Maybe he didn't get any hunted animal that day. So he was very exhausted, very angry, very irritated because even though he hunted, he might have not got any hunting animal. That's what he came out. He came in from the open country, famished, hungry. He's very, very hungry. He's what? Very, very, very hungry. He said to Jacob, "Cook, quick, quick." He was highly impulsive. He is driven according to his desire. He quick, quick, quick. Let me have some of that red stew. Esau didn't ask him what is the name of the stew, how you are preparing, what are the materials are there inside the stew. He didn't ask anything. You are preparing something that's true, which is red. Quick, 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 quick. Give it to me. I'm very hungry. Famished means hungry. That is why he was also called Edom. Because he was also called Edom. Edom means red. So because he's seeing here again, red is true. Understand? Jacob replied, first, now you know what, Jacob is intelligent. He is thinking further blessings, what is going to acquire in his future life. So now Jacob is asking, first sell me your birthright. Super question. Now, first sell me your birthright. Look, now see, what? Now Jacob, Esau is replying, look, I am about to die. Esau said, what good is the birthright to me? What, I'm going to die? See, he's exaggerating. He's impulsive. Everything he exaggerates. He never be calm and think and self-control. Nothing is there. Nothing. He is not even intelligent. He's a dumb person. He said, I'm going to die. How a person die because of hunger? No, because he's a believer. He came from after hunting. He's a very strong person. He's a skillful hunter. He's a strong man. Then only strong people can only hunt. Skillful hunter. Only a weak person, chicken person cannot do it. He's well-built man. Okay. So look, I am about to die. Jesus said, what good is the birthright to me? So if I die, this birthright is no use. So if I want to lose, I'm ready to lose the birthright. I don't want this birthright. See, now what Esau is telling? So what was Esau's birthright? I told you before, the Esau's birthright was double portion of the Abraham's inheritance and the family leadership. After Abraham died, Esau has to lead the family. Covenant blessing, God has given the covenant to Abraham in Genesis chapter 12, the covenant of blessing, covenant of generation, covenant of land. All this blessing, who is going to have? Esau's birthright is having. And the land blessing, God already blessed Abraham and told that the land where you are walking and roaming, it is for you and your descendant. So that completely first go to the first birth. These are all the Esau's birthright. Now he is ready to lose it. What good is the birthright to me? So what good is the double portion of inheritance to me? What good is family leadership to me? What good is covenant blessing to me? What good is land blessing to me? I don't want anything. I want to live. If I won't eat the food, I die. So what he's doing? Yes, I'm ready to give it. So what was Esau's mistake? The Esau's mistake was, I am about to die. What good is birthright to me? That's what Esau is telling. So Esau is exaggerating. Esau is exaggerating. See, for example, now what this my boys or Jacob is asking, if you want to live, for example, you are telling you are going to die, isn't it? If you want to live, you have to soul your birthright to me. So that was a demand given by Jacob to Esau. Now, you know, Isaac was a very wealthy man. There are so many tents. In all the tent, the servants are cooking. Okay, so what Esau might have think, I don't want to lose the birthright. I'll go to next tent, and some servants of Isaac were cooking. I asked the food to them. That much he have to take the action. He didn't care about it. Understand? He's exaggerating. The household of Isaac was very wealthy household. All Esau has to do to go to next tent, and he would be given all food he could possibly want. He didn't go to next tent. He's staying there and he's telling, I want now itself, I'm ready to sell the birthright. Esau's fault to logic. What was the logic? He did not appreciate God's covenant. This reflects the lack of faith of God's promise. God has promised his father Abraham, I want to acquire this promise. He don't have any faith in that God's promise. So this is what the Esau's mistake. Now Esau disregard the birthright. Now what Esau is telling? Genesis chapter 25, 33 to 34. I'm going to read. But Jacob swear to me first. Esau said, yes, I'm ready to give my birthright. What's going to useful this birthright if I'm going to die? That's what reply of Esau. Now Jacob is telling, no, not just like swear me. See how intelligent, clever she is. Jacob said, swear to me first. So he swore an oath to him, selling his birthright to Jacob. Swear is one. Take it, swearing. In those days, if you swear that you have to follow, if you are not following, you are the descendant, the children of Jacob has the right to attack and kill the children of Esau. So that is their culture. So swearing is very, very important. So selling his birthright, by swearing, by oath, by promise, everything's over. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and some lentil stew. Now only they are telling the stew is a lentil stew, vegetarian stew, not even a non-vegetarian. So Esau gave some bread and some lentil stew, very cheap one. With this lentil stew, Jacob got the birthright, such a great inheritance, such a great blessing, physical blessing, everything. He got 1 minute. Esau lost it, Jacob got it. He ate and drank and then got up and left. Can you see here? He never worry about it. He never think about it. He just ate the bread, drank the stew, got up, left. He never think about it. Such a impulsive person, such a dumb person, such a person who take the action according to his desire. He didn't even regret at that time what bad action, what mistake he did because of this little lentil stew and a little bread. Such a great, no, such a great thing happened. Now we are going to see, we are going to end Hebrews chapter 12, 16, 17. Hebrews chapter 12, 16 and 17. This author of Hebrew has mentioned about it, how what great mistake Esau has did, and the Hebrew author is telling you as the children of God should not do this mistake. This mistake is a very grievous mistake, a very dangerous mistake, a very unwanted mistake this Esau did, and the Hebrew author is warning each and every children not to do that mistake. So Hebrews chapter 12, 16 and 17 says, see that no one is sexually immoral or is godless like Esau, who was a single meal, who for a single meal sold his inheritance right as the oldest son. Now, you can see here, Esau, they are comparing his action with godlessness, sexual immoral. Afterward, as we know, when he wanted to inherit this blessing, he was rejected. Even though he sought the blessing with tears, he could not change what he has done. That means what this verse represents is for a little quantity of lentil soup and little bread, Isaac sold the inheritance right. In the same way as the children of God for sexual immorality or some godless action, don't lose your Christian inherited heavenly blessing. God is comparing that here. Understand? So don't do it. Even though the little lentil stew and bread seems to be less for you, but in our Christian life, if we are going to compromise our faith, our blessing with unwanted sexual contact with the unwanted person and unwanted godless action, like Esau lost his blessing, we as a children of God is going to certainly lose our eternal blessing. Afterward, as he said, when he wanted to inherit this blessing, when what happened, when he cried, when his father, when he lost his blessing also, because Jacob and Rebecca is going to trick Isaac and took the Esau's blessing. Jacob took the Esau's blessing. At that time, when Esau came to know that Isaac took his blessing, he cried very, very, very loudly. Even though he cried loud, he didn't inherit his birthright. He didn't inherit his blessing. Afterward, as you know, when he wanted to inherit this blessing, he was rejected. Even though he sought the blessing with the tears, he could not change what he has done. So what you are doing in action, you cannot change it. It is very important. Once you accept Jesus as a savior and you are willfully doing the mistake, you cannot change it. You have to face the consequences of the sin what you have done. That is what is alarming warning to us. So the lesson we learned today, Esau was unholy and lacked spiritual discernment. Esau was unholy and lacked spiritual discernment. Next, Esau traded eternal blessing for temporary pleasure. Third one, Esau regret his loss but could not change the consequences. So you children, very, very careful. Now you are teen girls, teen boys, you are going to study after the 12th, you are going to study in India or abroad. There, you should be very careful what you are doing. Your sexual contact should be very, 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 very cautious. You should not do any sexual sin. You should not do any godless actions. For every action, for every sin, the consequences you have to face it. You can ask forgiveness from the God. God is ready to forgive, but the consequence of the sin, you and me has to regret it, has to face it. That is what the lesson we are learning today. So what we learned today, I'll finish at last. The lesson is not value God's blessing So he despised his birthright. Who? Esau despised his birthright. He didn't value God's blessing. So we should have to value the God's blessing. Choosing fleshy desire over spiritual inheritance. So instead of Esau did like this, but we have to choose spiritual inheritance rather than fleshy desire. Regretting the loss, but not truly repenting. Here, you can see Esau was regretting the loss, but he's not repenting. So in your life also, even if you do some mistake, immediately repent. Repent means what? I don't want to do it again. Please forgive me. God is ready to forgive you and make you to come out of your problem. So these are the lessons we learned today. So that is, do not sacrifice eternal blessing for temporary pleasure. Two things are very, very important. Do not sacrifice eternal blessing for temporary pleasure. Think before making any major decision. Children, you are going to take decision in your life. Think before it. Don't take wrong decision. If you take wrong decision, impulsive choices according to your fleshy desire, you have to face for is don't sacrifice eternal blessing for temporary pleasure like sins, worldly pleasure. Don't do that. And God bless you all. Today's memory verse is Hebrews chapter 12, 16 and 17. See that no one is sexually immoral or is godless like Esau, who for a single meal sold his inheritance rights as a oldest son. Afterward, as you know, when he wanted to inherit this blessing, he was rejected. Even though he sought the blessing with tears, he could not change what he has done. So be very careful, children. Think before make any major decision. Do not sacrifice eternal blessing for temporary worldly pleasure. God bless you all. Thank you for joining, my children. Thank you.